Welcome, everybody, to episode number 6 of the Footy Express podcast with your co-hosts, Val Silva and myself, Nicholas Fiore. You're watching live on YouTube, live on Facebook, powered by The Bottom Line Restaurant and Bar, downtown Toronto, and obviously produced on the Gooch Live Productions, who we continue to be very grateful to have this platform and have this opportunity to talk footy, to talk football, or to talk soccer, as we would say in North America. For you, first of all, obviously, Val, hashtag espresso at lunch. Bella espresso. Cheers. You do the sign of the cross with the espresso if you're Catholic. First in there. But listen, everyone, we really do appreciate you coming on live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Every Thursday, 12:30 p.m., we also have our interns, Victor and Max, who come on sporadically throughout the episodes as well. Victor moving from Brazil back to here to Toronto, where he went to school at Humber College. So both of them hopefully will be on the show live next week as we possibly discuss some transfer news. Oh, that's going to be a good one. But today, Val, we're going to be focusing on a lot of North American footy, the Gold Cup, the Olympics involving the Canadian women's national team, touch upon the men's a little bit and how stacked the Spaniards are, and TFC. Obviously, you know, TFC is a big staple right now in North America and in Toronto. You can see behind me here and behind Val, of course, with Alex Bono and wearing the hat and so many moving pieces. TFC has been very interesting this year. But Val, you know, the footy world's crazy right now because the transfer news, the preseason.
Yep.
But, you know, the Gold Cup. And the Gold Cup is something where we cheer for our Canadians. And you can say the full American team isn't there, Val, and the full Mexican team isn't there. But at the end of the day, the full Costa Rican team was there. And Canada beat them in the quarterfinals. They have a spot tonight, 10 p.m., against the Mexicanos. It's going to be a good one.
For sure. You know what, though? Imagine if Team Canada was fully stacked. Jonathan David, Alfonso Davies, and Io Akinola was healthy. They would have held off a little. I can't even speak to them. I need a little more espresso to wake up. So let's try this again. I need like a double shot of espresso.
Maybe a triple.
Triple on that one. Now, out in California, they give you 7 in an Americano, which is crazy. So I'd be bouncing off the walls, man. So let's try this again. Yeah. So Canada did advance against Costa Rica. Let me just take 2 minutes so I can soapbox here. Last week we had our predictions, right? Just want to say somebody went 4 for 4. And the only reason I'm gloating because that's probably the first time in my life I ever got a part of a bracket correct.
Because the Euro predictions didn't treat you well.
No, they didn't treat anybody well. Let's just be honest. They didn't treat anybody well. But for some reason, let's just bring this up. Qatar squeaked one out against El Salvador. Squeaked. Yeah. Can you say squeak like a mouse, people? That's what ended up. U.S. beat Jamaica, which we honestly expected. But ironically, that was just a 1-0 win.
In the 83rd minute. In the
83rd minute. So Jamaica did hold their own and everything. Mexico, obviously, nobody expected anything less from them. They're not a full stack team. They're still missing Jimenez, who's actually with the Wolves right now, training and everything. Good to hear he's back on the field because he did suffer a crazy injury last season. So he had a head injury. And Costa Rica, Canada. I mean, we picked Canada because it is our home country, but realistically, Canada should have won that game. So we're happy they did. Now, moving on, we have Qatar, USA, Mexico, and Canada. For obvious reasons, we will do our brackets and everything, and people do let us know what your picks are when you're watching on our social medias, which you can see at Real Val Silva or at It's Fiore on Twitter, or even on our at Footy Podcast, Footy Express Pod, and Footy Express Podcast on all social medias. And just want to say thanks to The Bottom Line at 22 Front Street next to the Hockey Hall of Fame, the best wings in town, where we're probably are going to be doing our transfer window, like transfer show, like you had said. But continuing back on, I think the biggest challenge out of the next round of brackets is Canada and Mexico. We all Qatar's had their Cinderella story against thus far. I don't see it continuing with USA, because if they beat the USA, you might as well that'll be their championship game right there if they beat the US.
100%. I just want to give a shout out to Aaron Cusack. Good morning from Melbourne.
Yeah, good morning, Aaron. Nice to see you, bud.
So appreciate everyone tuning in. Robert and Aaron, some loyal listeners. Episode number 6, obviously, of the Footy Express podcast. And Val, no, it's true. I mean, Qatar was up 3-0 over the El Salvadorians, and El Salvador trounced back 3-1, 3-2, a PK goal in the mix, and they were pressing. USA didn't look all comfy against the Reggae boys. Jamaica came out hard. They only won 1-0. And realistically, Mexico and Canada looked comfortable against their opponents. Canada looked great against Costa Rica. Junior Joliet with a little chip over the goalkeeper. Beautiful finish.
Nice pass from Nelson Eustaquio.
Yeah, and then Eustaquio with the ending goal to seal the deal. And then Mexico, a very depleted Mexican team, just slapped Honduras 3-0. Mexico, honestly, Val, they literally have, I think, 3 to 5 players if you would pick from a World Cup roster that's even on that Gold Cup roster. Just like the Americans. I think the Americans maybe even have less. And I'm not no American soccer team lover, but when they have their full squad there, Weston McKennie from Juventus, Christian Pulisic from Chelsea, those 2 guys right there. You want to bring veterans Altidore and Bradley, and even though I think their times are done with USA, but even so, they're deep. Canada had more guys there, but you're right. Without the likes of Jonathan David, Alphonso Davies, Scott Arfield, Milan Borjan, Atiba Hutchinson, then the injuries to Kyle Larin, Ayo Akinola, and now suspensions for Steven Vittoria and Lucas Cavallini in this semi-final game. That's a lot of players. That's almost the whole starting 11 out. So if a Tejan Buchanan and a Tesho Akindele and a Junior Joliet, and then your midfield with Lorea and Osorio can get it done with Estaquio, there's an opportunity for Canada. They have to play defensively sound with Maxime Crepeau, the Vancouver goalkeeper, playing at his prime caliber that he can play at.
Yeah, and that's the reason why they're there, yeah.
They'll be okay. I mean, just because Mexico doesn't have their full squad, I still think Canada has a chance tonight. I'll be watching, that's for damn sure. But I think they have a chance, and the opportunities are there for Canada to win. They already showed that they're more legit, beating a pretty healthy Costa Rica team with Joel Campbell, Brian Ruiz, who was the captain of the World Cup team when they went to the quarterfinals in 2014 in Brazil. Like, they have pieces still there. And Canada said, no. This is our game. We're more legit than just making the first knockout round. And they are. Canada are. So now can they take that next level? Can they push them to a 1-goal game, to extra time, to PKs? It's Mexico at the end of the day. They are the best team in CONCACAF. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. In my opinion, when everyone's fully there, I still don't think USA is better, but that's just me. They really go back and forth. I still think Canada gets it. Like, I think Canada wins. I say USA wins. And there's your final.
Yeah, you know what? To touch on the U.S., they've just coming off winning the inaugural Nations League trophy. So a lot of those players taking some well-deserved time off. Where's my 7 shots of espresso? Holy cow! So yeah, and against Mexico, Canada is depleted. I've been a big fan of Tejan Buchanan. I'm surprised he's still with the New England Revolution. Pretty soon, I think that kid's going to be already on the radar to a lot of European teams, because he is an incredible right back. Yeah, he's an incredible right back on the
fast, Val. He's fast. They were sending him balls down that right flank, right wing, right back, and he was flying through. He's having a breakout tournament, just like other people had breakout tournaments in the Euros. He's having breakout tournaments in this Gold Cup, Tejan Buchanan.
Yeah, and the thing is, he doesn't need the tournament because he had an incredible run last year with the Reds, and the kid, if I'm not mistaken, is he 19 or just turned 19?
I'm pretty sure he's 19, and I think he's a Brampton boy too.
Yeah, he's from here. Yeah, from Ontario. Yeah, but yeah, he's on a lot of European teams' radar for sure. You know what? U.S. Canada in the final would be great. Mexico. You know what? I don't know. That one's going to be tough. Like Mexico has a history of pulling these games out.
22
Canada
from Brampton, Tejon Buchanan, Val.
is he? All right, so he's
Brampton, my motherland.
There you go. There you go. I mean, he's from Oso's from Osorio. Sorry, Oso is also from Brampton too. So
we produce some good talent out of the waters of Brampton, Ontario.
There's a few good guys. I think Richie Larea too. Is he not from Brampton?
Oh, he played in Mississauga. But he played in Brampton as well.
So there you go. So I'm not off then. I think Brampton's got a good academies out there that's filtered through TFC.
Got some good casters there too, but it's okay. Whatever.
But yeah, you know what? I think, like I said, the factor is their coaching staff on Team Canada to pull this out against Mexico. I think Canada is even more depleted. Like you run down the list of injuries and guys on suspensions.
It truly is crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. This one, if they can just hold them off, score that goal, and then just have the ball bounce for them. They had a little bit of bad luck against the U.S. I mean, the soccer gods owe us 1 or 2 or 3. So at least if they can pull it off, the win against Mexico, Canada and U.S. in the final would be great. So like you said, they're out of Austin, Texas tonight is the game at 10 o'clock, if I'm not mistaken. Just a quick double check here.
Yeah, Houston.
Okay, so yeah, both games are playing in Texas. The U.S. and Qatar are the first ones tonight, 7:30, if I'm not mistaken.
In Austin, yeah, 7:30 p.m. in Austin on One Soccer,
yep.
Or wherever your heart desires to find the game.
Or ESPN if you got that channel, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, for Canada, actually, because One Soccer has the rights to the Canada game only, let's just say you may have to be creative.
Which we don't condone, but we all know where to get those things, right? Let's just.
You don't have a One Soccer subscription. You got to be a little creative. Unless you have a beautiful IPTV box, watch it on Mundial under the Spanish language. Mwah. When they say goal, oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
No, but big shout out to One Soccer. They're just not a one-trick pony, as they say. They've taken a couple years to build up. They've got a lot of good broadcasters. Andy Petrillo, who's now doing the Olympics, she's part of TSN. They just hired Christian Jack, who was part of the Footy crew on the TSN broadcasts and everything. So really knowledgeable crew on Soccer One. Gareth Wheeler, better known as Wheels, does TFC games after 90 minutes and such. They've got a lot of good programming. They got the CPL, the Canadian Professional League, and they've got a lot of innovative, insightful discussions on their shows too. So it's a really good, and it's not even that expensive, the monthly subscription. So I mean, if anything, support local talent, local television, and then go through there. But if you got the other scenarios, Nick would say, hey, we all do what we got to do when we do it. So let's just.
Hey, as long as we're still cheering, does it really matter? Does it really matter?
So let's move on. We are now going to move on to the ladies and the Olympics, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So we're gonna touch upon the women's here, Val, and you can see the bracket there, and Val, you could take it away and get going. There's some heavy matchups in the quarterfinals, don't you think?
Oh my God! All Canada had to do was potentially hold on. They would have been on the right side of the bracket.
I woke up to watch that game.
I was awake too.
Woke up.
That was a tough one. Now Canada, because they finished in second, they're on the left side of the bracket. They have to go through Brazil, and if they're lucky enough to go through that, they have to go through either the United States or the Netherlands.
Mamma mia. Mamma mia.
Mamma mia is correct, my buddy. That is for sure.
Oh.
Not to say that the right side of the bracket is any easier, like Great Britain. They're beatable. Swedes, they pulled off a couple of upsets already in past tournaments against the U.S. and stuff. They beat the U.S.
Yeah.
Japan, they're riding high on the hometown favorites. And New Zealand.
You know what, though, Val? The Americans don't look the same. There's something about their swagger. I mean, it's still the States, but I can see them losing to the Dutch in this quarterfinal.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
3-0 to Sweden in the opening game. Great. You beat New Zealand 6-1. whip-de-doo. It doesn't matter. New Zealand is not a top team in the women's game. The top teams are USA, Canada, Brazil, Great Britain, which is England, if we all don't know.
Correct.
And Sweden. Then Japan used to be at the top of the game. They faltered a little bit. Dutch used to be at the top, faltered a little, but they're still there. Canada, I would say, is a top 5 country in women's soccer. I really do believe so.
I think they're ranked 7th or 6th right now in the women's.
In my opinion, I think they are a top 5 team.
Yeah.
They've beaten Brazil in Brazil in the bronze medal game in 2018.
Not an easy thing to do. That is correct. Not an easy thing to do. But Brazil is riding high. Marta looks rejuvenated. She looks young in terms of the play, even though she's not. It is her 5th World Cup. It probably is her 5th World Cup coming up. Yeah. Her 5th Olympics. She scored in 5 straight, the only female to do that for the men's and the women's. So she is a legend in her right. Brazil's playing well. Canada, a few bad bounces, I'd say. A few unlucky bounces. They've been playing well too. Christine Sinclair is playing well. The Dutch, the U.S. The U.S., I agree with you. There's something about their swagger. Maybe they've played a lot of games. Maybe their defense is faltering through injuries. But I always said their goaltending is not as strong as it has been. Like, they were lucky enough to win the World Cup and be World Cup champions right now. That first game against Sweden, 3 goals. The goalie seemed out of position. Hey, maybe it's the change in time. Maybe it's just the ego amongst the team and coming back down to earth. Megan Rapinoe still looks great, but I mean, you know what? Let's do this right now. I say the Dutch beat the U.S. and it won't be a blowout. I think it'll probably be like a 3-2 game.
Yeah, I mean, that I could agree with you more. Obviously, for the Gold Cup, just going back on it quickly, you're picking USA and Canada.
Yeah, I'll go U.S. and my heart is with Canada. Yeah, for sure.
I have to do the same thing just because. And then back now to the Olympics quickly, Val, just so we get our
I mean, the boys haven't been there since 2007 in the quarters, right? So
yeah, so just to get our predictions in, we got USA and Canada, both Val and Nick. And then for the Olympics, I'm still going with the States, to be honest. As much as I think the Dutch can pull it, I think we might agree on every other bracket. So let's be different. And you're going with the Dutch, and I'm going with the Americans on that one. Crossing over, just for our good friend Aaron, I'm going with the Aussies. I'm going with the Australians beating the English, beating Great Britain. All right?
That's doable. Like, they've been a strong team a number of years, Australia. I mean, Great Britain's not that powerhouse that it once was. Like, Canada did beat them for the bronze in the last Olympics, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, Australia should beat Great Britain. I see that coming through. Sweden should beat Japan. But you know what? Japan is playing at home. National pride. That'll be my upset, is Japan over Sweden, even though I think Sweden will win that game. But I say Japan.
I'm sticking with Sweden.
Yeah.
We're going with Japan. Are you picking England or Australia, Val?
I'm going to pick Australia. Yeah, for friends on the other side of the world.
I wonder who we're picking out of Canada and Brazil.
Canada and Brazil, you know what? I think, wow, they've had some great games. Like, honestly, every time they meet, they've had some really great games.
No.
And Aaron, I am picking the Aussies. I will stick with the Aussies because I will not go with Great Britain just because the Aussies are better. Tune into the after show programming once we put it together to know a lot of our reasons for a lot of things, but I digress. You know what? I'm going to go with Canada. I will stick with the hometown favorites on our side for Canada. You know, the girls have been playing well. They've had a great team over a number of years and everything. So they're just starting to get on a roll rhythm, playing together, the new coaching staff system and everything. You know what? I picked one underdog in Qatar beating El Salvador. You know what? I'll just pick the Dutch over USA. I'll just call it. That's my other.
I already have it locked in. You really couldn't change it in my opinion.
Yeah, well, the show's still on, so we're okay.
So just an overview of the Gold Cup. Val and myself both picked USA to beat Qatar and Canada to pick Mexico. To Canada to beat Mexico, and then to the Olympics for the women's, because that's where our main focus is due to the Canadian women's being there, of course. Val has picked Netherlands to beat the States, Australia to beat Great Britain, Japan to beat Sweden, Canada to beat Brazil. I picked USA to beat Netherlands, Australia as well, Sweden over Japan, and Canada over Brazil. But Val, isn't it just so darn good to say Canada, Canada, Canada in brackets like this? You know, men and women's soccer in general have struggled. It's been tough. The women's have way more success over the last 20 years, you could even say. If you want to break it down, 10 years. 2 bronze medals, right? 2012 London, 2016 Brazil. It's good to see. The men have just struggled tremendously over so many different coaches. They thought they found it with Octavio Zambrano. That didn't work. John Herdman came in and just changed the culture, changed the ship, and it was just insane. And it's good to say Canada's in a semifinal of a major international tournament for the men. The women are back in a major quarterfinal. Their last World Cup they hosted in Canada, right? The women in 2016, they were in the quarterfinal and they lost to England 2-1.
That was a tough
good
loss.
To see tough loss. Like I actually had a little minor tear. Tough loss. That was so tough. But it's good to see the Canadians up there. You cheer for Portugal, that's your background. I cheer for Italy, that's our nationality background, where the families are from and where the grandparents or the parents were born, right? That's, full Portuguese, full town. That's where we come from. But we are all born here. I'm pretty sure you are, and I'm pretty sure I am. We are born in Canada.
I hope you sure you are.
We are Canadian, right? We are Canadian Portuguese. We're Canadian Italian, and or Italian Canadian, Italian Portuguese, right? Portuguese Canadian. I continue to go on and on and on. My point is, though, Val, it's good to see that where we're from and where your kid is growing up playing youth soccer, where my little cousins, where I played and grew up and played all the way to semi-professional League One Ontario. Finally, the international senior men, senior women's are continuing to now go on international stages and hopefully on the world stage for the men's and show what they got. Kids from Pickering, Whitby, Brampton, Bolton, Mississauga, Toronto, BC, Saskatchewan, and so on and so forth, getting these cracks and saying, we can make a team from wherever we are in Canada. We can play at it. We can be good at it. And we can, do some damage. And it's finally good to see.
And to add to your point, we are one of the co-host nations in 2026 World Cup with the U.S. Sorry, what was that?
We're in it automatically, right, Val? With USA, Canada, Mexico in the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup.
I'm not sure. Did they change the rules in terms of host countries being automatic? FIFA's flip-flopped over the years, so I'm not sure.
From what I know, USA, Canada, and Mexico are in the 2026 FIFA World Cup.
That's great, because qualifying on this side of the world is like you need a PhD in finite physics to trying to figure it out. Like, I'm still trying to figure out the FIFA rankings in terms of countries, but hey, I digress.
But no, are atrocious.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But to touch on the Canada point with over the years, there's been all kinds of rumors and how the CSA, the Canadian Soccer Association, runs their organization. Were they too hands-on, not leaving the coaching staff to run the teams personally? It's like an owner who buys a professional team. The owner thinks he knows the sport that he just purchased that professional team to, where like you hire a general manager, you hire a coach, people in that industry who know how to run the team. I mean, whether or not it's true that the CSA has had meddling over the years in terms of coaching staff, how the teams should play and everything. I mean, that's just rumors. I tend to believe that Canada's poor showing in general has maybe to do with the fact that the CSA organization, the suits, do not let the coaching staff or hire proper coaching staff to run these teams the way they feel fit, because they've got the experience in their soccer background to run the team. John Herdman, to be honest with you, with the women's and now the men's, he is the only coach that I can think of in a long time that's been given no leash to run the programs as he sees fit.
Yeah.
Where in the past you've had a lot of coaches that seem to have had a very short leash. I apologize for using that term, but it's just a term on what they were able to do and what they can and can't do. But like you were saying, it's great to see the men's game. Like the men's, there's a lot of great Canadian men's talent out there, which is great to see us back on the world stage. A lot of our guys are getting recognition, and none other than Alphonso Davies out of Bayern Munich in Germany, who just what 2 seasons, like 7 trophies or whatever it is. Like he's already won a Champions League, Bundesliga titles and everything.
Yeah.
But it's great. And then the women's, like you said, the women's have always had success because their program has been much more stronger than the men's. But like you said, it's nice to be cheering for Canada. We do have our national backgrounds wherein it's European title, a FIFA World Cup. Like Canada has in the past has struggled to qualify for the FIFA World Cup because it is such a bizarre way the way these teams on this side of our conference have to qualify. They have to go through like 3 brackets of qualifying, I think it is.
So it's 3 different rounds.
Yeah.
So 4 different rounds. And you have to, depends your FIFA rankings, you're placed in a first round. Canada normally gets a bye to the second or the third. Normally the second round. Then they have to play a group stage that consists of like
USA,
Canada, and easy teams, and Haiti. And then this year they played Haiti in a home and home to get to the hexagon, which I still don't know why they call it the hexagon, because that's 6 points in the shape. Meanwhile, the octagon has 8, and there's teams in the last qualifying CONCACAF group stage.
Yeah, dude, we only have a half-hour show to explain this. I think we need like 3 hours.
Why? But anyways, but it's hard. It's very hard. But from what I see now, if the Canadian men's have all of their guys for this qualifying group stage, which consists of, Canada 1, and then USA, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Panama, Honduras, Mexico, and I'm missing one more big gun. They have an opportunity. I see it being USA. Forgot USA. I see it being USA, Mexico, Canada. I believe it. I think Canada's going to finish 3rd. You're telling me Canada can't place over Panama, Panama, Honduras, Costa Rica, Jamaica? Yes, they can.
Yeah, they can.
They definitely can. But even if they come 4th, they have a continental crossover playoff with I think like the Oceania continent, which, my God, if they don't even beat that, then there's a situation, right? Yeah. So there's an opportunity for Canada on making this 2022 Qatar, who unfortunately is being played in November to December of next year. But that's another story and another.
Well, the reason they're doing that, it does conflict with a lot of leagues, is because of the temperature. It's actually cooler in Qatar in November and December as opposed to the summer because it's.
We shouldn't be having the World Cup though.
There's a lot of places that have hosted the World Cup that never should have happened based on the way it was done. But hey, that one we all know that one exists in terms of like funding.
If everyone watches WWE, Vince McMahon. Money, money, money.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's why a lot of guys are currently suspended and been things. So
that's the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. But the bottom line is honest. When they say they have the best chicken wings in Toronto, check them out. 22 Front Street next to the Hockey Hall of Fame. Big shout out to everybody there. We appreciate them.
Absolutely. And just want to answer a question here. Aaron throwing it out there. Best player have you seen in the countries at the Olympics this tournament? For the men's, it's got to be Pedri for sure for Spain. Yeah. And I just want to touch upon that very quickly. For the women's, honestly, there's been an array, but Ashley Lawrence for Canada is Canadians' best player. Ashley Lawrence is Team Canada's best player. She has everything, all the attributes that can be another Brampton-born girl, or actually Caledon-born girl. So played with Brams United girls. There, and for the men's side, Aaron, it's Pedri for Spain. If we all don't know, or didn't watch this past Euro tournament, Unai Simon, Oscar Mingueza, Pau Torres, Eric Garcia, Dani Chalobos, Pedri, Marco Alonso, Dani Olmo, and Mikel Oyarzabal. 5 of those guys for the Spanish national team for this Olympic tournament, which is an under 23 tournament, and you're allowed 3 overagers. 5 of them were on the Spain Euro 2020 team.
Yeah, they got a good set of youngsters coming up.
Good young team. And then an Oscar Mingueza and a Pau Torres and a Danny Chelavos. Manchester City for Danny, Pau Torres, Villarreal. Mingueza plays on Barcelona. They have a young group. It's Japan, New Zealand, Spain, Ivory Coast, South Korea, Mexico, and Brazil and Egypt in the men's quarterfinals. So it's some intriguing matchups there. Egypt has a pretty good under-23 team. Brazil, always there. Argentina faltered in the under-23s. France faltered. Germany faltered. All 3 of them didn't make the quarterfinals of the Olympic tournament. So, we're seeing some other teams come up. Spain is going to be amazing. They will be a World Cup winner again. I don't think next year, but they will be. And I think they'll be a Euro Cup winner too again in Spain coming up in the next years. They're just too damn good. You saw them take control of Italy in the semifinals, but Italy found a way to get it done. So I think Spain's core coming up when they retire the Sergio Busquets and
should have retired a long time ago.
Alvaro, and the Alvaro Moratas.
No, Alvaro just had a rough tournament, but he's still young, though. That's the thing, right?
I don't think he's good. That's my overrated. Hot takes. They call me fire, so hey, I gotta bring the fire.
No.
It's gonna be good. It's good. It's good stuff, Val. And the Olympics. I just love seeing the Olympics in general. All these cool sports, skateboarding and surfing. Like, I've been watching all this, man. 13-year-old Japanese and Brazilian girl, gold, silver in the skateboarding women's competition. Like, I know we're not going to touch upon that, but like the Olympics, some people hate it because money and all that crap. I love it. The competitions are great. The swimming is amazing. Triathlon, just so many good sports, and I love it. But anyways, the football tournaments in the Olympics, basketball, I love that too.
Yeah, no, but you know what I love is the 3-on-3. They call it 3x3.
It's new
for them, which is new this year. It's really great. Yeah. But you know what's a sport that is pretty popular in Europe and South America that is not in the Olympics? No, it's beach soccer. Yeah. I'm waiting for that. I don't know why they would not put beach soccer in the Olympics.
And beach World Cup, like the FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup is huge.
And Portugal's won it a couple of times. Brazil's got a team. A lot of countries, like I've seen a lot of those tournaments, and it's one of the greatest sports out there that I think is not in the Olympics.
You're right. You want to know why, Val? Because they brought European handball, obviously, on the court that they always bring. But
it's an exhibition one this year.
They brought European handball to this Olympics on the beach as well. So I'm very curious as to why they don't have beach soccer in the Summer Olympics.
No, but the beach handball is not a sport that's in the Olympics. They've tried for a number of years to get it into the Olympics. So I think there's a term that they use for potential new sports that they showcase it, right? But yeah, it's been great. Other than the controversy of letting people wear what they want to wear, that's another dumb thing. But yeah, no, beach handball and beach soccer, it is quite an incredible. It's a large tournament. It's like the second tournament to the grass game. So I want to see. I'd love to see that in the Olympics. That's the only one that I think would be nice to be there. But the 3-on-3 basketball,
boarding, they added rock climbing for God's sake. So
yeah,
gotta add beach soccer. Aaron says keep an eye on Sam Kerr. Sam Kerr is great. She's a really good striker for the Australian women's national team. Val, just moving on quickly to our beloved Toronto FC for a couple minutes here. And TFC winning against Chicago 2-1. They have 2 wins and 2 draws since Javier Perez takes over from Chris Armas. Alex Bono played terrific in the 2-1 victory. 13 saves, a career high. Jefferson Soteldo, Alejandro Pozuelo combining. They look good. Soteldo gets a second goal in a Reds uniform.
Yeah, that was a pretty one.
MLS. Pozuelo not playing up to the standard of Alejandro can play, but the combination are there. Michael Bradley looks rejuvenated. the boys look good. They don't have Kamar Lawrence, Jonathan Osorio, Richie Larea because of Gold Cup.
International duty, yep.
Then they have injuries in the likes of now Nick De Leon that might not be, Achara hopefully coming back soon. So,
Achara, no, yeah. And no, I don't think Achara's been out for like 2 years. I was thinking Ayo Akinola. So that's what I was thinking of.
Akinola as well. There's guys that are there and they might put a run on this one. TFC look more rejuvenated. They look more fun. They look like they're having more fun. Yeah. And it's good to see that, a firing of a coach, as bad as it sounds, needed to happen because they stopped playing for Chris Armas. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He lost the locker room, as you would say in hockey. He lost the change room. He lost the respect. Maybe not the respect, but
he lost his players in terms of the system he had in there.
The willingness to everything.
He basically brought in his personal grievances with Josie Altidore into that team when they were hired. There's the rumors and out there, but I mean, like, dude, you leave stuff out the door. Like, for example, Perez actually cut Alex Bono on a junior team.
Yeah,
back in the day, and then he came in. They left it at the door. They're playing well. But getting back to Alex Bono, 13 saves. This isn't exactly like. This is like double than what a goaltender usually sees. You probably see 13 shots, but not a lot of them hit the net.
That's literally
4 or 5.
On a per game, that's a hockey. Like if a team's dominating, 13 saves as a goalie in hockey. Oh, not your team dominated. You had a good night. 13 saves in soccer. That is literally unheard of.
And if it wasn't for Alex, they would have lost that game 6-1, 7-1. That was incredible.
3 or 4 big saves. Yeah.
Oh yeah, big save. One of them was actually a hockey save. It was a kick save, like on the first half.
Hey, goalies act like that in soccer too. I did it last night in the Hensley game. Honestly,
but it was nice to see. But yeah, the Reds, Toronto FC, do have a busy, hard schedule in front of them. They face Nashville this Sunday. They face New York FC and they face the New England Revolution, all top teams in the East right now. So this is the time of the season where, and they've got some games. These are just the home games, folks. They've got some games in between on the Wednesdays and everything, but these are just the home games that are open to everybody to go down if you're able to get tickets. I know Nick's going to be going there this Sunday. I've got tickets all 3 home games in August, so looking forward to seeing everybody down there. Do stop off at the Bottom Line if you are going to a TFC game during the week. Grab yourself a couple of drinks.
They're closed on Sundays right now.
No. I know, but I'm saying like even during the week, go catch the game down there and everything. So, but yeah, so this is the time. These next 3 weeks is where you're going to separate the men for the boys, as they say. Where TFC ends up in this month in the standings will determine a lot if they're still in a playoff push to get into that last spot, or if they're done for the season and moving forward. And to touch on Pozuelo, I think he's fighting an injury. He didn't look that sharp the last game. And to add to the injury list, Justin Morrow was a late scratch on the game Saturday. So hopefully he'll be okay, because TFC's hands are tied, putting a midfielder in Marco Delgado on to play defense. And I want to say Junior Singh, but Junior's not his first name, is it? Singh, the other defenseman on the other side. I don't know why Chicago did not continue to expose them in that game as they did in the first half, but hopefully with Zavaleta back, it'll be a regular back that'll be back to play defense for them. And fingers crossed that the Reds do have a great run coming forward.
Yeah, and I think they are going to, and I think they will, and I think TFC will be okay. If it's not this season, it'll be next season. And TFC will still have a bright future. I think they are a cup contender team when they figure their bleep out. So I think it'll be good, and I think TFC have opportunities there for them if they want to take them.
Yeah, for sure. Let's hope the Reds have a good run this month moving forward. Listen, we've had a great show today. We want to thank everyone who tuned in on Gooch Life Productions through Facebook, through YouTube and everything. Everyone watching overseas from Aaron. I want to say a big shout out to Robert, and even a bigger shout out to the Bottom Line as our main sponsor. Do tune in during the week. We are potentially going to have an on-site show from the Bottom Line next week. We're just working on a few logistics where all the boys, myself, Nick, and Victor, and Max, We'll be down at the bottom line for our show next week. More details to come. We're potentially working on some great prizes moving forward. Thank you, everyone, once again for tuning in to the Footy Express podcast, live at noon. Espresso at lunch, as Nicholas would say.
Espresso at lunch, live at 12:30, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Ciao.